Welcome to Meanwhile in Turkey, Turkey's only crowd-funded, English-speaking news show. We have a great show for you today. We're going to talk about the Mars landing and why Turkey plays such a big role in it. We're going to talk about the 13 deaths of our soldiers last week. We're also going to talk about the great-grandson of the last Ottoman ruler and why it's really not that important. Let's go. Belarus has jailed 2 journalists for covering the Lukashenko protests. I have to be honest with you, I've never seen a country like Belarus treat its journalists so badly. I mean, how in the world can you jail 2 journalists for covering a protest? Unbelievable. Our COVID vaccination numbers have come out and 6.5 people out of 100 people in Turkey have been vaccinated, which is a great number. Actually, it's not enough, but it still is a great number. Please don't forget, we are 80 million people. So far, we're doing a great job. The Ministry of Health is doing a great job, but it's slow, unfortunately. Turkey needs more and more vaccines, and hopefully in the coming months, we're going to be able to get those vaccines and hopefully have the whole population. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced that he was going to allow certain areas in certain cities according to their points, their COVID points. So if the number of infected people decrease and the number of uninfected people increase, things like that, their points are going to get higher, therefore they're going to ease up on their lockdowns, which is really, really great news because people are literally A, sick and tired of this, B, businesses are completely going bankrupt. Restaurants haven't been able to open, cafes are shut, even though some politicians said that they found a new way to go around it and give the idea that maybe some coffee places and restaurants guests should be allowed to stay only 45 minutes. So basically means when you go into a restaurant, you're going to eat for 45 minutes and then get out. It's never going to work, but I don't know who came up with that idea. It's the stupidest idea ever in the world. But hey, what are you going to do? At least it's something towards normalcy. Good news. Towards the end of last week, Turkish armed forces conducted operations against the PKK in the Gara region of northern Iraq. Although the aim was to shut off the region from the PKK, news slowly started to come out that the idea behind the operation was to free 13 people in the hands of the PKK. As time went on, news started to come out that the 13 people were executed. Friday, we were shocked with the horrible news. The 13 were actually police officers and soldiers of the Turkish armed forces. Even though at the beginning they said they were citizens, when we found out that they were actually soldiers and police officers who were held by the PKK for more than 5 years, the country went into complete nationalistic fever. The PKK, realizing that the Turkish armed forces were closing in on them, had decided to murder and execute these 13 soldiers and police officers held captive. It's very sad. The fact that they were held captive in a cave complex without seeing sunlight or daylight, the fact that they were there for more than 5 years, some of them even close to 7 years, and then slowly hearing the bombardment of F-16s of Turkish armed forces, knowing that your freedom is very, very close by, and then realizing that there's no way you're going to be able to get out of this cave. I would like to send all my condolences to these patriots who gave their life for our country. With the shock of these 13 deaths, all eyes were on the HDP, Turkey's Kurdish political party. Over the years, in our fight against terror, PKK has taken Turkish military personnel hostage. What happened then? Political parties like the HDP, previous to the HDP, went and mediated between the PKK and the government in order to release these soldiers. And it worked. This time, the HDP said, we tried to mediate, but we couldn't get a response from the government. And our nationalistic fever increased. And the first things that came out of our mouths was the political party, HDP, the Kurdish political party, HDP, should be closed down. We've been fighting the PKK for over 30 years now. The HDP is not the first Kurdish political party, nor will it be the last. For over 30 years, we've been talking about the same things. We've been doing the same exact things and hoping to get the same results. How insane is that? Doing the same thing over and over again, thinking that the results are going to change. The one thing that doesn't change is the mothers crying at funerals. We did it. Turks did it. Again, it's us. It's all us. We're the best country in the world. Do you know why? Because NASA had to use Turkey in order to go to Mars. Yeah, that's right. I'm not crazy. And that's what NASA says, not Turks are saying that. NASA is saying that. I swear to you. Perseverance landed on Mars. Not only did it land on Mars, but it landed on the Jejero lake bed. They call it the lake bed. Amazing feat of engineering and dreams and everything humankind can achieve when they put their minds together, when the best of us come together and create these amazing feats of mankind. It's a beautiful event, but NASA couldn't have done it without us, Turks. That's right. You see, the Jejero lake bed is similar to the Salda lake in Turkey. Boom! That's right. We have the same kind of lake as the one on Mars. That's right. So NASA geologists and NASA people and scientists came to Lake Salda, which is in the middle of Turkey, to look at the microbialities or rock deposits in the deltas and groundwater seeps, which I have no idea what these are, but they seem really, really important. They had to use our lake bed. They had to go see Al Salda Lake to see how Perseverance was going to make it in space. You're welcome, Earth. Once again, Turks. 1, the rest of the countries, 0. Salda Lake is like our Maldives. You know, it's beautiful. If you've ever been there, it's mesmerizing. But it's barely hanging on. You see, a couple of years ago, government kind of got really interested in the Salda Lake, and they decided to make it national park. It's not like the national parks abroad where, they just close the area down and they don't touch anything, No, we wanted to do a national park with a car park and like little huts and maybe a toilet, maybe a little kind of, doner, a little barbecue place, things like that. And of course, everybody went crazy. They said, no, don't do anything, please. Just leave it as it is. And thank God we did. Because if we hadn't, it would have been like, I don't know, a car park, basically, with a little, beach next to it. We're having a hard time keeping our natural resources, our natural beauty, without mankind's greed. We're having a hard time, but we're hanging on there. So, once again, Mars, you're welcome. World, you're welcome. Turkey, number 1. If you've ever been in Istanbul traffic, there's a couple of things that are going to happen to you. First of all, you're going to curse a lot. Second of all, you're going to be pissed at people driving on the emergency lane with these siren-y lights on, the red and blue lights. Now, some of these people might be very important, like the police going to a crime scene or going towards an operation. Or he might not be that important, but he thinks he's important. That's why he thinks he's better than every other citizen who's waiting in traffic for hours and hours in traffic waiting while these stupid idiots use the emergency lane with these little flashy lights on. Sorry, gotta focus because this pisses me off. You see, in Istanbul, the only people that can use these flashy lights and actually use the emergency lane and cut off people is for police officers going to a crime scene or for an emergency. It's not for businessmen who are late for, the dinner or they're late for a soccer game. I've seen it happen, trust me. It's important for government affairs only. The government clamped down on this, and now there's a fine of about 1,600 Turkish liras, which is close to $200, $250, whoever's caught with these little lights on. Now, but they still remain. This week, I would like to introduce you to Kayhan Osmanoğlu. He is the great-great-grandson of the last Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. He was seen this week getting out of a Range Rover, that's right, getting out of a Range Rover with these little lights on and another security car in front, where a bunch of people welcomed him as the late, Sultan's great-great-great-grandson. Saying we want our empire back and we want our royalty back. In this country, the Ottoman Empire no longer exists. We don't have royalty. After the First World War and the creation of the Republic, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk disbanded the Ottoman Empire. However, people like Kayhan Osmanoğlu still believe that they are the descendants. And some people still believe that they are the descendants, even though he's really not that important. So, what is my point? Who are you to ride around in Istanbul with these little lights on? You're not that important. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Meanwhile, in Turkey, please don't forget to, which you constantly are forgetting, subscribe, share, like, do everything. Also, hit us up on our Patreon page. Show us the love. See you next time.